Yo, so that's my cousin right there, Telekinesis.
Urban Crossfire. We back.
We back
So
with another
yeah,
one.
yeah. So your boy Zion and your boy
Another
Chingy.
one.
Another one, yeah.
Bro, you remember when I used to do that Rick Ross impression? Rose, Rose,
Oh yeah.
Doritos.
Dude, that reminds me of Drake. Drake.
Nigga stole my whole flow.
Soldier Boy somehow always finds a way to be relevant to this day.
Shit, I don't even really think like I don't want him coming at our head, but like I don't really think he's like relevant. I don't think
Really?
because yesterday or a couple days ago
Mm-hmm.
there was this guy on someone else's stream, and they were like, "Bro, gun to your head right now. Name one French Montana song." And then the dude in the comment was like, "I'm already dead." Like, what?
Unforgettable.
Oh yeah, but
That's the only one.
it wasn't really his song. He kind
Yeah,
of
it
got
wasn't
carried.
really- dude, one single from French Montana, honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know how he's like so connected to like, bro, he can talk to Drake and all these people. I'm like, bro, you don't really
I think it's because of that story that
hit
happened
though, like,
between him and Gucci Mane, where like he went to Gucci Mane's studio and was like, "Homie, I'm trying to get inside the studio. Like, what up? What up? I got 5 bands for you right here." Gives Gucci Mane 5 bands.
Oh, I heard that.
Gucci Mane just leaves. He just takes this nigga's money and
Bro,
leaves.
Gucci Mane was a savage back then though.
Bro, he like
That man,
he killed an op that pulled up on him, and then when he got out of jail and did a versus battle with the guy who sent the killers, literally dissed the guy he killed.
whoa, I never heard about that. I gotta see that. This
Yeah,
video.
I think I'm not really sure about the whole fucking beef. But I think it's Young Jeezy or somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he sent like killers to Gucci Mane to kill him because they had like a beef, and Gucci Mane killed the guy, and that's what he got sent to jail for. And when he got out, they were like, because he basically got out of jail because they said it was self-defense, but the reason I think this dude like buried him instead of like reporting it to the police because he probably just thought like it was something deeper than that. But, yo, that
Yeah,
nigga was out here living like a whole ass movie. That's crazy. Yo, a lot of people are, bro. There's a lot of people living like whole ass movies. Like when I was hearing about the whole fucking like crime that's going on in Chicago, or no, not Chicago, Florida, based off of their rap scene, there's like literal cousins on opposite sides trying to kill each other, like relatives.
That Haitian thing? The Haitian.
Nah, I mean, I don't know if they're Haitian or not, but they're like a part of a rap group. And
What's that music group with Space Ghost Perp
I have no idea.
Raider Clan? That's what it was. Raider Clan.
I remember when
Those are like the first. I remember when Florida was like the rap scene.
you remember when Suicide Boys, Puya, and Ramirez came out with Buff Squad. Have you ever listened to Buff Squad?
I think I have, yeah.
Bro, that song, I would bump that. Like, I would listen to Ramirez, and I feel, like, scared walking down the street. So I'm like, damn, I'm, like, attracting the wrong energy. I be scratching my head and shit, like, looking sideways. Same with, like, Suicide Boys. I remember one time I was standing in, like, the atrium of the school, and I was listening to Suicide Boys. I think it was, like, Cherry Pie or something like that. And I was, like, trying to find one of their songs. And I was listening to it, and, like, someone heard what I was listening to. They were like, what the fuck? It's like, what did that guy just say? You do what to the mom? Like, what? Because I remember someone said, it was one of them in a Suicide Boys song. They literally said they were, like, they said something about, like, putting a mom on acid and, like, making her walk the street or some shit. I'm like, dude, I was, like, fucking 15. I hear that shit.
Bro, that
like,
shit was dark. I don't remember the first song that I heard from the Suicide Boys. Hey, listen to Ghostman was definitely some heavy shit too.
oh, yeah, for real. And, like, Bones in his early days, too. Really, all of them. There was this one dude who I would listen to that I was trying to remember the name of when, like, I told you, like, I was listening to Bones. But I listened to this guy before. And he was literally talking about, like, breaking into houses. But you know what's crazy? Is that, in accordance to all that, there's, like, because, like, to some people this is called like gore rap. And there was this guy in like 2009, 2010, who was like a gore rapper, and he was like popular on Twitter and everything. And he was associated with some group that was like really big in the scene. And he ends up like meeting this girl on Twitter. He likes a girl, and they chatted up for like a year. And I think his name is like Scott Makowski or some shit. They go all the way to I don't remember the exact state, but he goes over with her to go to a concert, like a whole venue. And apparently the girl was a part of the scene too. She was like really big in the scene, but she wasn't like a rapper or anything. She was like kind of like one of the extra girls, and she was young too. And her mom was like, "Yeah, we'll drive you guys because we don't want you guys going on your own, and we'll drive you guys, and then we'll come back and you guys can stay at this house." So they go, and he comes, he flies over, and apparently like the girl she doesn't really fuck with him because like this is the first time she sees him in person, so she kind of like soft guard like rejects him, and he doesn't like that. So one day, I don't know exactly what day it was. I think it was like a day or two before he was supposed to leave to go back. They're all chilling at the house, and he ends up murdering her friend, and her other friend with an axe.
The fuck?
Yeah, bro. Apparently, like the whole.
So that was the rapper. Like,
yeah, I mean,
that rapper was.
He wasn't like a big rapper, and I listened to like a little bit of his music, but he did that shit, and he's in jail right now for it.
Fuck.
But the crazy part is that the night before he was like on pills, he was smoking, he was drinking, and like he had already been at the house for some time. It was like 2 days, and he just went inside and like killed everybody. And like he did it while they were sleeping too. And what makes it even worse is that no one heard from these girls for like 2-3 days. And her parents, like I said, like they were expecting her to come back home after like the whole event. And it was like 3 days after they were supposed to stay at that house, which was her friend's house. And the dad comes over to like see like what the fuck is up. And he walks in, he sees his fucking, because he ends up, after he kills the two girls, because there was already one in the living room, he pulls two of them into the living room. And he ends up killing the dad too with the axe, and they sit in that house. He sits in that house with the dead bodies for like 2 weeks. And then he goes to the airport. And
wait, what happened to the mom for like 2 weeks? Didn't the mom do anything?
The dad wasn't like married to her.
Oh,
but the mom was like, they called the police, and the police like went to go check on the house, and they didn't like try to inspect the house or anything, because the guy, every time he would open up the door, he'd basically be like, "Yo, yeah, they just left. They went to the movies." So he was capping the whole time. And he ends up going to the airport to like go back, and like they were complaining about his smell. And that's when they went and they checked the house and found all those dead bodies. Bruh. I've been hearing cases like that all fucking week too. Like it's crazy the amount of shit that's happened, and like what would happen like to people who just snap like that is fucking
like that video that I sent you, bro. Remember that video that I sent you? Whoa, that we were watching?
Yeah, bro. Like it's
like people, bro.
It's the
like I
you
saw
want to
this.
call it disgusting, but it's like when it happens so rampant, like girls killing their boyfriends over them not wanting to be with them anymore, or like daughters killing their dads just because they want to go live with their mom. Like what? Like shit that makes it's temporal. It's superficial as hell. Like
Right.
if you would have known that this would be like, if you met this person and then like some fucking angel or something came down and was like, yeah, if you don't do this or that, if you let go of all that like resentment you have, you're gonna end up killing this person and you're gonna spend the rest of your life in jail. Like no one's gonna believe any of the stories you tell. You are going to spend the rest of your life in jail. Like I'm pretty sure those people would be like, oh fuck that, no, that's not me. I won't do anything like that. Like before, I'm pretty sure they went to like some fast food chain, someone took their fucking order, all that shit. Like it makes you really like think about all the people you fucking know or have ever seen. Like, have you ever met anyone that was murdered?
Bro, I mean, I did go to this. Remember when I used to go to the kung fu thing?
Yeah.
Like, there was this one girl that we did like a little event and stuff, and one of the girls was also in the school. She was like 2 years older than me, and I heard that, and I saw the boy, and it was like her boyfriend. I think I saw one time. And I don't know how very. I didn't know too much of the detail, but I kind of heard this other dude that I went to school with. He said that they killed her grandma. And,
Oh yeah, that
and
was
shit.
here. What the fuck? I remember that shit.
I was like, dude, I talked to her. I've seen the boyfriend. Like, it's kind of weird. You never really would expect that.
Dude, and then there's another story too where this boy, the whole, like, the sequence of events I'm about to tell you, like, literally are just fucking crazy. But this kid, he wanted to throw a party, right? And, like, I don't know, his parents probably, like, said no or some shit. But he ended up saying, like, he was texting his friend. He, like, literally told his friend, he's like, yeah, I'm going to kill both of my parents, and then I'm going to send you, like, my address so you can come to the party. And his friend, they're both white, by the way. His friend, he texts him this, and he's like, yeah, do that shit, nigga. He says that shit through text. So what ends up happening is this kid pops like 3, 4, 5 Xanax. He then goes downstairs with like a mallet or some shit and kills his mom. His mom's calling for her husband, which is his dad. Dad runs downstairs. He kills his dad. This is a lanky kid. He's like 6 foot even. He ends up pulling the bodies into like a shed in the back and like puts them in there. He's off Xanax, so he can't fucking clean up everything. But his mom was at the fucking desk working, so her blood's like all over the fucking keyboard and everything. And he invites about 200, 300 kids to come to his fucking house. They have a party. The party starts at like 8:30. A lot of people start showing up around 10. The party doesn't end until 2 a.m. The whole time, he's literally walking around telling kids he did this shit. He would tell like his friends and shit, but the craziest part is that as he's off Xanax and as he knows he's done this, he's at the party and the blood of his parents are literally like, it's not like splattered all over the place, but it's like around the house because he didn't like clean it all up. So his friend, he goes up to one of his friends and he tells him like, yeah, bro, it's probably gonna be the last time I see you. I don't think I'm like be around anymore. He's like, yo, like, what's up? He's like, yeah, I killed my mom and my dad. And he's like, bro, you're capping. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, and this is the chilling part. He's like, yeah, if you look around, you'll probably see the signs. And kid says, yeah, I'm looking around and I'm seeing like, because he said that at the beginning of the party they were playing beer pong, and somebody threw the beer pong and it bounced off the table, fell on the fucking like ground, and it rolled inside of like some brown stuff, but like no one really knew what it was, but they just picked the ball up and started playing beer pong, and that's literally his mom or dad's blood on the ground that the ball rolled in. And he tells that kid that like, yeah, I killed my parents and stuff. He shows the kid the dead bodies, and then the kid takes a fucking selfie with him because he's like, yo, this is like the last time I see my best friend. He's gonna go to jail. Afterwards, a bunch of people at the party call the police, and I was like listening to like 911 calls. There's one kid's like, yeah, I just got home from a party. Kid that threw the party said that he killed his parents. Just, if you guys go over there, don't mention my name. Nothing like that. I don't want anything to do with that next girl. Yeah, I was just at a party. Um, Kid said he killed his parents. Dads and parents are calling in. They're like, yeah, my daughter was just at this fucking party. Apparently, this kid, like, everyone's telling on him, right? Around 4 a.m., the cops pull up. Kid's still high on Xanax. They open the fucking door. Kid is there, and he, like, I don't know if he lets them in or they have to, like, barge in, but they, like, let themselves in, basically. And they're, like, looking around. They see, like, the mess all over. And they start approaching the shed. And the whole time, the kid's screaming, like, don't go in there. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. They open it up. And apparently, the way the bodies were placed, because his dad was, like, some heavy-set dude. Bodies were placed, like, on top of each other. And there was, like, sheets everywhere. But there was blood everywhere, bro. And I was just like...
Is this, like, all in here? Like, this was here?
No, this wasn't Georgia.
Where was it?
I can't really remember where it was from. But apparently this kid, like, had an eating disorder. And after he went to jail, he, like, gained weight and stuff like that. And when he was, like, doing his whole, like, closing statements, he was just saying, I'm sorry. But shit like that is, like, bro, you were telling people before you did it that you were going to do it. You were conscious and completely sober. He played Lil Bibby, bro. No, not Lil Bibby. He played Lil Boosie. He played Lil Boosie's song when he went downstairs and killed both of his parents. To me, that's like fucking, it's crazy.
Did you hear that other one person from our school? It was I seen him around, and supposedly he raped this chick in the bathroom in Town Green. Shit, my man's like, I've seen him around. He was kind of funny. I'm like, I would never. But yeah, that chick that I mean, I talked to her a pretty good amount of minutes, like 5 minutes, and she seemed completely normal. But
that's the thing, like, you don't fucking know these people, bro. And that's why I'm always saying, like, yo, we got Uber. You don't know what the fuck car you getting in. You got fucking Tinder. You don't know who you meeting up with. You got things like Grindr, which is basically an app that's like Tinder, but for gay people. But it's primarily used for sex. Like, you're just meeting up with people, and you have no idea what they just got done doing, what they're about to do, if you're, like, somehow going to get involved in it. Like, dude, it's like you're literally just welcoming strangers. But, like, even with Alex Powell. You remember Alex Powell? Super tall kid. White boy.
yeah, that man was like the tallest kid in school. Didn't they killed some, like, the plug or some shit? Like, they were like getting some.
They killed him. Well, I don't think Alex pulled the trigger or anything, but apparently he, like, got in the car, and dude gets shot in the chest. Guy dies. Alex goes to jail. They're literally saying, his mom's, like, pleading with him. He's like, can he at least finish high school? Like, what?
Yeah, they were they were going to finish high school first and then go to jail, weren't they?
Yeah, basically.
So how much time is he doing?
I have no idea. But even that, there was this one girl. I don't know if you saw her around. She always had, like, a bun, and her boyfriend would always match sneakers. Like, you would always see her with her boyfriend matching sneakers. And that's, like, the main thing I noticed about them. And she had glasses on, always wore this gray hoodie. Her and her friends basically, like, robbed and killed some dude.
What the fuck?
Like, bro, this is Duluth, bro.
I know, dude.
And then you got Lenox Mall popping off. Like,
oh, bro, that shit's on a regular.
You can't even go there anymore. Like,
I'm like, bro, that's like a rich people's place. Bro.
Yeah, exactly,
that place
bro.
Is dangerous.
Exactly.
Crazy.
No, man, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of these niggas live in an RPG, bro. Like, they do not really think about the consequences.
They don't, bro.
And there was this one dude, and we could probably move on to something else because this shit kind of getting a little grim. But there's this guy who he was like super. He was smart. he was smart enough to become a nurse. He became a nurse, and he was like living with his parents and stuff like that. And he ended up like stealing money from his parents because he wanted to become a Twitch streamer. Crazy thing is, like, the whole thing that started this ball was like he saw Ninja playing with Drake and like all those rappers and like basketball players and football players when he like had like 600,000 people watching the stream. And he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna become a Twitch streamer." He like convinces his dad to like buy some equipment for him, and he like tells his dad like, "Yo, I need like money for marketing and shit." So he's using that money to basically talk to this girl online, right? And bro, when I was looking at the crime scene photos of this shit, but anyway, she was fucked up. He's talking to this girl, and she was basically like an OnlyFans girl, right? She would like send him videos and stuff like that, and like he was like part of this whole collective that like loved this girl, like, and he like believed enough that like because that she would send him like photos of what she looked like on a regular basis when she was like outside of content, like that was his girlfriend. He believed he like owned this girl basically, and he ended up getting shipped off to his aunt's house because like his dad found out he wasn't like working, like he was like wasting all the money on this girl. He was just not, he wasn't doing what he said he was gonna do. And his dad like shipped him off because his dad was pretty well off. His dad was like an orthodontist or like a pediatrician or some shit. And no disrespect, but he was made a lot of fucking money. He was able to save a lot of money through like invest in everything, and he ended up taking in total from his dad like $232,000, bro.
Damn, and that dad was gonna help. Not all dads will fucking pay for that shit, bro.
In no fucking way will all dads pay for that. They won't even try to invest in you until like you're actually like making money. But he goes to his aunt and ends up taking money from her too. He commits credit card fraud just so that he could talk to this girl. So he's chilling at this point, but the dad finds out about the girl, hits the girl up and is like, "Hey, my son's going through a really rough time right now. I see that he's been talking to you a lot. If he gets on, because they basically say he has a porn addiction and an internet addiction. So he's like, hey, if he contacts you, like, don't hit him up. Don't let him, like, speak to you or anything like that." And when the guy gets back and he finds out about this, he gets really upset. He gets super upset, and he ends up like killing his dad, his brother, and his mom. And the fucking crime scene photos, you have the mom who, just like the last kid, she's working at her computer. It doesn't even look like she had a chance to even know what the fuck was going on. It looks like he just walked in the room and shot her. She slumps over. He waits for his dad to get home. And what bothered me so fucking much is the fact that, like, the dad had a gun on his hip. Like, he open carried. Like, so he prepped for shit like that. Like,
damn, but from his own son, though?
Exactly. Like, that's the thing that fucked me up, because I'm like, even if he saw, because when you see the crime scene photos, you see the dad get shot. He gets shot at the side of the island in the middle of the kitchen. And you see the blood trail because he's crawling. He's crawling, and he ends up falling backwards, and he bleeds out right there. But he had just gotten home. Like, you see his lunchbox, you see a bag that has, like, lunch meat in it. Like, he was coming home to, like, live his fucking life. And he did right by his kid. Like, he made a whole list on, like, how his kid could get back. And I mean, I don't know the whole relationship that he had with his dad, but it's the fact that he ends up killing his mom and his dad at this point because of this shit. Because they don't want to do. Because, I mean, he's basically, if you know the whole story, he basically ends up getting caught up several times with the police. And he gets away scot free. He doesn't get charged by his aunt for the credit card fraud, stealing almost like $100,000 from her. In total, he has like $6,000 in credit card debt. He has like $28,000 in fucking student loans.
Dude, so he was already older, huh?
Yeah, he was older. He was still living with his parents. He like,
damn. What kills me? It's like his own dad would like really invest in him that much fucking money.
Yeah, he would basically just have him like, yeah, the sea is yours. Like, we save this money for you guys, type shit. Like, they were not living a luxurious life. Like, you look around this house, it was a simple ass suburban home. Like, it was like couch was small as shit. Everything. It was simple as fuck. And he killed, and like his brother like really loved him. His brother paid like close to 10 grand so that, because he really liked anime, so his brother paid like 10 grand so that they could go to Japan together. He texted his brother the day before he came from the rehab because of the internet addiction and porn addiction. He was like, yo, I need you to straighten yourself out. Like, I don't think I could live without you. Like, you're my brother. Like, we do everything together. And you're down bad. Like, you're disappointing mom and dad. Like, I hear about all the shit you're doing. Like, this is not you. Like, what the fuck is going on? So he ends up murdering his dad. And before his brother could even get in the house, bro, he shoots him in the garage. And point blank, right in the head. You look at the fucking crime scene photos of this shit, and his brother's in the fetal position. Like, why, bro? Like, he kills everyone that, like, loved him, was trying to get him back. He, like, just murked them. And then he had the fucking audacity to sit on stand, and when he was asked about this lady that he talked to online, he made sure to make it a point that she sent him photos, that, like, she liked him. Like, bro, he was that,
Fuck,
like,
dude.
for pussy he never even, like, could touch.
Exactly.
Like, shit that he just saw on a fucking screen. He was that he was that deep that he killed his whole fucking family, bro. And it's just the crazy part, like, if I'm an open carry, like, his gun's not even unsheathed, bro. He didn't even have a chance to even think about the shit. He probably saw his son toting and was like,
oh, hey, what you doing? Like,
bro, he got home. He didn't know his wife was dead in the next fucking room. He had no idea. He didn't even have the chance. And that's like, and then you have the same situation, different guy, with another dude who ends up killing both his parents, and then caps the police that they went to like some lodge. And then he tries to use his girlfriend's farm to bury their fucking bodies without his girlfriend fucking knowing. So when the cops show up and they're asking her questions, and she says, oh yeah, he pulled his truck over there, and like he was over there for a little bit. So they go over there and they find his dad's body fucking dismembered because he's trying to cut it up. And then they find his mom's body in the fucking river. The girlfriend thinking this dude's about to go to SpaceX or work for them. He was capping about that. Dad thinking that he's about to. Dad thinking he's going to college. He was capping about that. And all because he got caught in his fucking lie. He killed everybody. I thought he was just going to run off with his girlfriend because they couldn't find his parents. And he was stupid as shit because he looked up every aspect of what he had done on his fucking phone. He was literally looking if they had found his mom yet. He was walking around his neighborhood asking if they had seen his parents, asking if they have surveillance cameras.
Fuck, dude. People are crazy out there, man.
Yeah, bro, and it's over little shit too, like small shit, bro. And that's why, like, I gotta know the whole story when I hear about these school shootings, because I watched this movie called Polyamic about this kid who worked at a STEM school. Well, he went to a STEM school, and he shot up the school. This is like in France. He shot up the school, only aiming to kill women, because he said too many women engineers were coming into the sphere. He wrote a whole manifesto talking about how female engineers are like bad or some shit. So he goes to his school, and like the scenes that are depicted in the fucking movie, I'm like, yo, this nigga was sick. Cause he like, there's a whole room full of these girls, and they hear that the whole shooting's happening. So they like run inside this room. He comes in the room and literally makes them line up and kills them one by one.
What the fuck?
And then offs himself. So like, what did you plan to gain out of this, my nigga? Like, okay, so you killed all these people, right? And then killed yourself? So you ain't even an engineer anymore. Like, so what are you mad about?
What the fuck? That's just crazy, dude.
And the ripple effect of the people that are there, bro, like, I can only imagine that mental state of that absolute trauma, and then knowing the people that you know, especially like with Columbine. The first couple of kids to get shot were sitting outside. A couple got away, but they had to watch their friend get gunned down. Like, what the fuck does that do to you? Like, I couldn't, like, imagine, like, even hearing this shit is just, it's crazy. But, like, being there, surviving it. And then to have, like, people on fucking Twitter making stan accounts for murderers.
People are sick, man.
But then they say, oh, we don't want to defend pedophiles. Like, what? Like, what? Like, you're deranged, dog. Like, what?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that pedophile shit's bad, too, now. People are starting to try to accept that shit.
It's everywhere, bro. They try to make a law in California to basically make that shit legal. In other places like Greece, it's legal. In places like Japan, age of consent is 13.
What the fuck, really?
Yes. Places like Italy, age of consent is 14. Like, bro, not too long ago, it was completely okay to fucking marry a 13-year-old. It was historically accepted. Like, as soon as a girl was having her period, yeah, wife her up. Like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And it makes me, like, I'm glad that I got, like, the little friend group that I got, because I don't really feel like making more friends. Like, for real. Like,
exactly.
It doesn't, like, after hearing all that shit, and then.
I'm definitely vigilant, bro. I definitely try to like, not be too mad and stuff like that, because even though sometimes I know it was their fault, the shit that I get from them is not satisfying. I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have done that, even though it was their fault.
Yeah.
Like,
even, like, yelling at somebody just makes me, like,
fuck.
Pointless, bro. Pointless.
Right.
And I would think about that shit over and over again. Like, let's say I get in a fucking argument with my mom, and I'm like, you know, she might not be here one day. And that just catches me up. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I can't even imagine. But for some people, that's like a determined reality. Like,
people snap just from that.
Yeah, they like, I couldn't imagine, like, taking a gun and fucking shooting my parents.
Like,
what the fuck? And then your brother, like, your only real friend, actual flesh human friend, you shoot him before he even gets a chance to see you. Like, that's some coward shit, bro.
Right.
Like, a girl rejecting you, like, yo, someone cheats on you, like, bro, that's to everybody. Like, if someone cheats on you, bro, they were never yours. They were never, like, they never really liked you or loved you or anything like that. It was just your turn, bro. Like, if someone cheats on you, it was just your turn. That's all it is. Like, let it go at that. Don't fucking go to your significant other's house after you've moved closer to him. Take pictures of him while he's in the fucking shower and stab him 22 times. And after you've done that, shoot him. And then leave his body in the fucking house for weeks. Like, that's not someone you fucking loved. Like, why the fuck? Like, oh, because they can't be mine, they can't be anybody's. But then when I'm on that side of fucking Twitter or, like, TikTok, I see people wanting for, like, possessive relationships, toxic relationships, situations where they're basically giving their will and putting it in someone's hands. Girls like getting fucking, I don't even know if this is TOS or not, but they're getting like rammed with a fucking gun. Like who, like what are you? Like are you that fucking safe that you like what? It doesn't make sense.
Right. That shit scares me.
It's scary as fuck because like even if I were to, and I really hope this doesn't happen, but even if like I broke up with Veronica, I would be scared to fucking do dating again. Like dating and like meeting strangers it's scary.
That's one thing, like
It's scary as fuck.
like just breaking up with a chick and she getting that fucking mad to where she wants to do something very fucking harmful to you. Like, have you seen those pranks when like when the guys are like cheating on my wife or some shit, and these women, like, it's like you accidentally texted her and she just comes back and sees, so like goes into the fucking house and has like a knife or some shit. I'm like, bro, that shit's kind of. It's like, imagine you try to prank your girlfriend and then she like comes out with a fucking knife or some shit. I'm like, oh shit, it was just a prank. Like, imagine if it wasn't
like
a prank.
She was ready to take.
She was gonna kill you, bro. I'm like,
and it's all over, like, bruh. And then when I think about things like it's a concept Nietzsche talked about, the eternal occurrence, where he basically in his book The Gay Science, I think it's The Genealogy of Morals, it's one of those, but he talks about this situation where 3 animals show up on you and they're like, hey, quick scenario for you real quick. If we were to come to you and tell you that at this very moment you were to pass away or to disappear and you were to come back to life and you would have to live your entire life over again up until this point, like every situation, every reaction, every emotion, you would have to live it up until this point, how would you see us? Would you see us as a demon or would you see us as an angel? And like when I arrived at that thought and I read that shit, I was just like, bruh, like I couldn't imagine like reliving and hashing out all the debacles and like senseless fucking arguments. And I couldn't imagine like being in that mind state where I know that I killed someone over some petty shit, and something like that happens where they fucking introduce me to the idea that not only will after death I won't be able to escape this reality, but I'll be forced to know and relive. Like that's scary.
It's like your body's doing it, but in your headspace you're like, I did this before. I knew this shit was stupid. This shit was funny.
It's dumb. Fuck. Like,
yeah, there is some times where I'm like, why the fuck?
And you get caught up in a moment you don't necessarily recognize.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like when you're able to reflect on that shit, you're just like, fuck, that was dumb. Especially like when you take on a discipline like trading and you make silly ass mistakes and you go back to do your end of the day markup and you literally see the situation that you were caught in, and if you would have just followed the initial thought, followed that gut reaction, you would have been profitable. But because you were losing, or because you placed your stop loss at the wrong time and you positioned yourself incorrectly, you lost. Like if life was like that, where you could go to sleep and like revisit your Acacia records or some shit and like look at your life, like, bro, people be waking up a new person every fucking day.
There's this one thing where if you want to improve your memory, some people back, I think Benjamin Franklin, all these other people actually, if you want to improve your memory, you go every time when you're about to go to sleep, you literally say out loud what you did your entire day.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of those niggas journaled.
So,
because they realized, like, I'll pass on one day.
Just everything that you remember from that day that you did, from what the hell did you eat, just anything, everything, in detail.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people would definitely, that would be a definitely good sign of reflection.
You'll appreciate it more. And I mean, that's what like Taoists or like Buddhists talk about, like living in the now. I mean, I think a lot of people recognize it as a cliche or some shit, but like for sure, like understanding that, you know, there's nothing else but like the present. I mean, of course, the eternal recurrence, like if life were to repeat, like I would want it to be that kind of thing that I'm happy to come into, rather than it being like, oh yeah, I'm about to walk into some shit. Like,
It's pretty deep right there where you said coming in where you're happy to get into.
yeah, man.
Yeah, it definitely is fucking scary as fuck if you did something and then go back. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, and I mean that's why like, I mean, because I'm not like a Christian, you know, because I really think the Bible was really just copied off the Epic of Gilgamesh. That's a time for another story. But anyway, if you know Cain and Abel, the funny thing about that story is that it's contained really in like 2 or 3 sentences. Cain kills Abel. That's it. But the punishment that Cain gets from God is that he's made immortal and he has to walk the earth knowing that he's the first man to ever kill anybody. And knowing that the only reason he did it was because of validation. Something superficial, something baseless. You killed a good man for no reason, really. I couldn't, like... And I mean, that's really what the justice system does, though. They lock niggas up for life. But, like, they get to, like, be with friends and make memories and all that shit. And, I mean, at the end of the day, all you really have is memories. But, like, I couldn't imagine living a life where that shit doesn't haunt me every day. Because I watched Tales of the Crypt. Have you ever seen that movie?
Tales from the Crypt? No. I don't think so, no.
Oh. So it's this movie where this like guy who owns like a funeral home like tells stories of like the people that died. And he told the story about this gangster who like killed a bunch of people, and how like when he got to hell, how like he fell into this it's like a pit, but like all the people he killed were there, and they were like talking to him like they were normal, but they had all the wounds. So they would like have like half their head missing, or like, bro, when they showed that shit in the movie, I was like, I'm never watching this shit again. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's nightmare fuel. Like, what the fuck? Because he's talking to him, and he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. He's like, what about them, bro? Like, you shot my sister. She was sitting in the fucking living room. You were trying to get me, and you killed her. Look at her. And the little girl's like right over there. And like, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And then like when I see shit like that, or even with Juice, because I watched that movie when I was a kid, and when I found out how Juice passed away, I remember I was working at Home Depot, and I was listening to one of his songs, and he was like taking like he said something about like taking a break from the drugs because I'm not trying to have my mom lose me, and I had to stop the song right there, bro. I was just like I hear this man's voice in the present, but I recognize that he's gone because he was scared of getting caught. And for me, that shit is too heavy. And like the whole drill scene, or like even music that's like popping right now, where like people are just like rapping about killing their ops or some shit, and then you look back at the story and you're like, yo, that's a whole ass fucking somebody's kid. That's someone's brother. That's someone's like boyfriend. That's someone's best friend. Like, and you literally killed them because they were in the wrong street at the wrong time, looking a little too odd, and like you're cool because you got a chain and skinny jeans. Like what? I mean, bro, it's much deeper for them. Like, dude, right. I'm pretty sure if like I was in that situation, but I wouldn't say I would do exactly that. But for them, it's like a kill or be killed type shit. Like if you have an actual cousin on the enemy's team, where like the head honcho is saying, I don't give a fuck about if that's your cousin, still trying to kill the nigga. Says that on video. So yeah, if you see him, you might as well get him before you get you. But like, imagine living that life, bro. Like, you living in fucking brick boxes and, you know, shifting between abandoned fucking apartments so you don't get caught up. Or like you're living like you're in prison already. Not going outside. Like, oh yeah, if you want to play outside, you better join a gang. Like what? Oh yeah, you can't go to that fucking basketball court because those homies over there, they will beat you up. And if you tired of doing that, either you gonna be with them, or you gonna be over here with us. Or even like the story that's not critically acclaimed, but I was watching this gang member talk about how the whole beef between the Bloods and the Crips started. But like it like turned into murder, and apparently it was like some dude, and I don't know how factual the story is, but it was like a guy who got an interview. He was like some top like killer from them, and he said that there was some guy who like wanted to join, right? And this is back when they would like do brawls and shit instead of like going out and shooting. But the guy, he gets beat up, and he comes back with a gun, and kills the dude that was beating him up. And that's what like just circulated this, where you took one from us, so we gonna take two from you. Y'all take three from us, so we just gonna clean the block. And then it just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They naming whole blocks after people that were murdered, and now everyone there is like an avenger of that dude. So if you're ever associated or ever you get caught up, you get killed. You make a song dissing somebody that's dead, you get killed. It's like no remorse, bro. It's like fucking war in the streets.
Those are like top 100 Billboard. I'm like, bruh.
Even like with like Pooh Shiesty and them. Like, bro, he's in jail right now for literally robbing a nigga in a McLaren. He had
in a fucking I saw that.
He was driving. He was driving a McLaren, and he robbed a nigga for some Jordans. Imagine that,
McLaren, dude. What?
He shot the dude. Like it's one thing to get robbed. Like, oh yeah, if they point a gun, whatever it is, you can have it. Fuck it. That shit could be replaced. I ain't taking my life, not today. But let them show up without a fucking mask on. Like Soul Illuminati. Say goodbye. Like, it's... And for some material shit, bro. And then you go down his track record, like, that's his whole life. Like, that's just the life he had to live. That's just what happened.
Stupid, bro. Like, what the fuck?
And now he's caught up. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know what he thought. Like, did he not think he was going to get caught for something like that? It's scary because of, like, how fast it can happen, too.
Yeah, like how, like, murder is in the movies, bro. Like
you
murder in today, like, in real life, murder's swift and brutal, I think. Murder in real life is just swift and brutal. It's not like some heroic, slow motion shit where they're like, I'm gonna survive this and stuff. Nah, that shit's brutal as fuck.
Like imagine you're, like, I don't even want to say imagine. Like, fuck that, but fucking driving down the road, leaving someplace, stop at the stoplight, car pulls up. That's it.
Bro, that shit's scary. That's why with, like, social media and stuff, bro, I never want to be like just the face of, like, oh, who's that guy? Nah.
Yeah, and that's the
like
thing.
with this podcast, man, I want it to be just a podcast, and we're kind of like in the sidelines, just not catching too much heat. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing that's so crazy about it, like, that you can find heat from fucking strangers.
Yeah, like
niggas
right now, what we're doing right now, somebody might take hella offense to it or some shit. I don't know why, but it's weird. And then somebody, that shit's scary, man. So,
like, I'm only saying the facts. I'm not identifying people as psychopaths or anything like that, but you could take what you will with the shit that actually happened. Like, those people that we mentioned, even from our area, they actually kill people. And they look normal as shit to us. All I'm saying is, like, this is a cautionary tale. Like, look out. Don't
Right.
just be so needy to fucking have validation from people.
I feel like I used to be like that in like early school years. I wanted validation and shit like that, but
Yeah,
damn.
I would have liked to have many friends, but at the end of the day, bro,
Now I don't give a fuck.
I
I'm like,
really don't
why the
care.
fuck would I need so many friends?
yeah.
Like with y'all, bro, we've been talking since shit.
Middle school,
Well, yeah, it's
open
been
up
a fucking
Thrasher
while.
magazine and finding the shits.
Yeah.
You know, like
I like this friend group too, because like other shit, like stuff that I would talk about, maybe some people might think I'm like trying to be better than them, or like me telling them like, hey, I kind of just want to do this entrepreneurial thing and stuff like that, and be like, oh, you think you're better than us and shit.
I don't know. Like I
Like,
couldn't
nah.
imagine saying some shit like that to you, bro.
Like, what the
The
fuck?
fuck? That's so. Like,
Now, like when you told me about what you like did with the forex, bro, I felt happy as fuck. That's all I was thinking that
Yeah,
day that you
bro.
told me. Like, damn, this man's gonna be probably getting whipped. Imagine he's got his own stuff and like we can play soccer like anytime and shit.
Yeah,
Like
bro.
imagine the shit that we can be doing, like traveling some fucking spot, like when we're
Yeah.
older, like when we're in our fucking 30s and we can just be like traveling wherever we want. Like, bro, remember those days? Like that shit would be
Yeah.
dope as fuck.
and the fact, like, even like, just the base of our friendship, this shit started. Like, even the whole podcast started from us like sitting on a fucking picnic table, smoking a joint, and I was just talking. And I wouldn't shut the fuck up, and you were just like, "Yo, you should make a podcast." And we just, and now this is like something we could revisit.
Oh yeah, this is like our memoir or some shit.
Yeah, bro.
Cause shit that we're saying now, like, oh, we should visit. That's what we were saying like 4 or 5 months ago. So we got a bunch of fucking episodes that we can go back to when we be saying that type
Yeah,
of stuff
bro.
sometimes. So yeah,
I just look forward to the future, and I wouldn't fucking kill some girl or some dude because they slept with the. Like, that's crazy to me. That's fucking crazy.
right.
But like, it makes you dive into the psyche, because I remember, I know we only got like 8 minutes left, but if you guys ever read Crime and Punishment by Theodore Dostoevsky, he tells a story of what it means, or like what it like kind of psychologically looks like to be a guy who knows that all of his problems could be solved with the price of murder. So in the story, there's this kid who's like a lawyer, and I don't really remember all the details, but he ends up killing this like lady who like runs a pawn shop or something like that. She was like abusing her like niece or something, and he like kills her, and he takes her money, and he's able to like help his mom. He's able to like do all this other stuff, but for the rest of the fucking book, he's left like with that conscience that he like killed someone. And it's an interesting tale, but it's just wild how in that moment he believed like, yeah, this is the thing that I gotta do. Or even with like the movie Prisoners, when homie's daughter gets kidnapped and they kidnap a guy who was kidnapped by the kidnapper. But yeah, they kidnap the kid that gets kidnapped by the kidnapper so they can find the kidnapper. And they like torture him, put him in a hot shower, threaten to break his hand with a hammer. And the whole time he's not talking because he was basically raised by someone who made him into a fucking deviant. Like, imagine that fucking kid's psyche. Like, he has to go home now or even to jail. And he was the one that they should have been looking for. He was the one that should have been found. It's fucked up.
Right.
So whenever I see movies or like that, or like I hear songs, like I catch myself vibing to it. I'm like, fuck, what the hell am I really listening to? Like, what the hell?
Taps into the subconscious.
Yeah, because this is kind of like a hand leading you to a locked door. It's just,
You believe they're like a inner person living in us?
yeah. Actually, I know a lot of people don't like Jordan Peterson, but Jordan Peterson did talk about like the upper conscious, lower conscious, and how like your ego is something that falls through that kind of floor and meets that lower conscience, and you come alive in the idea of pride, excess, and lust, and you basically exude through those things and try to imprint. I mean, the laws of human nature talks about that. The art of seduction, 48 laws of power. They all talk about the idea of someone leading off of unrealized like things. Like, it's literally how, and that's why when we talk about like the war with Ukraine or the war with Russia or wars in general, I'm just like, it sounds like something that could work out, but now you have people who are just normal working human beings that just want to like a fucking Hellcat or free college, giving their life away for people they've never met, niggas that don't know their name, and they're made to believe like, yeah, it's for the greater good. And then I remember when there was this guy talking about he was in World War II, and he talked about how he had like this bayonet fight with one of the Nazis, and he ends up stabbing the guy. Guy falls down, and he's sitting there, hands over his wound, and he's like, "I'm afraid to die," and he just keeps saying that. And the guy like remembered, or not remembered, but he came to the realization like, this dude thinks he's the hero, like he thinks he's the good guy, just like I think I'm the good guy. And all we really are just soldiers fighting for a cause that we don't even know the full details of. And then when I watched that one movie, Fury, dude, that shit hit me hard. Like, when they were in that fucking tank and they were just getting, like, mowed down. Like, bruh. And, like, the guy, he says a prayer, like, right before they, like, try to fight them back. And it was, like, the kid's, like, second or third day in the war. He had just gotten there. And, like, all the people we met, like, the dude, Brad Pitt tells him, he's like, don't get close to nobody, because they're going to die. And then, like, they force him to kill one of the Nazis. He, like, falls in love with this girl, like, real quick interaction, but he really likes her. And he watches her whole apartment building get blown the fuck up. Finds her body in the rubble. Like, you literally just saw this girl alive, bro. And then from that, you go into this thing. Your tank rolls on a mine. So it blows up the wheel. You guys are walking. You run down, see the reconnaissance, or try to have reconnaissance. And you see a whole fucking fleet of Nazis coming towards the village you just fucking saved. So even after you thought you beat the enemy, there's more. So then you guys try to ambush those dudes, run out of ammo once, try to fight them with guns, run out of ammo again, watch your whole fucking fleet get killed, and then you hide under a tank. One of the Nazi soldiers, after killing you guys, walks by, peers under, sees you alive. He sees you see him, and he does nothing. He just walks away. Like, what the fuck? Like, I know it's all dramatization, but yo, situations like that definitely happened. Like, those guys are recognized as fucking heroes, but they ain't alive to see people praise them. Like, they're gone. One used God to justify his means, and the others just fully believed in their right to survive. And I don't think I could, with that in knowledge, being able to see shit like that, I don't think I could go to war. I don't think you can convince me anything about America, like when, 45% of homeless people got jobs and shit. I don't know, like, what the fuck am I fighting for? Like, taxes? Like, what? I mean, it's propped up to mean something.
Propaganda and shit like that.
It's people wanting it to mean something, so much so that they're willing to get rid of you just because you don't believe what they believe. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I always thought, like, if I ever went to, like, war and shit, I'd probably definitely get PTSD from that shit, honestly. That shit would definitely crush me.
I would not come back the same dude.
I know, I definitely wouldn't.
No way. No way.
Right.
4th of July would be a terrible event.
But all right, guys, we gotta running out of time now. But thank y'all for hearing, and listen next week. Every Tuesdays I release the episodes.